Thank you, Ira, and thank you for all that you do in spreading the word on climate change as well. We do need a lot of young Indians to come forward. Okay, so for those of us who grew up in the late 80s, and the poor kid, I think, might want to go out. Please take her out. Oh, poor girl. Girl? Yes. Okay. Okay, so for those of us who grew up in India in the late 80s and 90s, Ira, you as well, I think we may all remember how special our Sundays were. Now, I particularly remember going home right after Sunday school with my friends because I wanted to catch the latest episode of the Hindi anime series of Mowgli, the Jungle Book. Now, while we were watching this series, kids, parents, all of us, we were all rooting for Mowgli. Why? Because Mowgli was fighting for his place with the wolves, and Mowgli was also fighting to save the jungle from hunters and poachers. Basically, we were all rooting for him because it felt so intimate and personal. So what happened exactly to all of us as we became adults? Now, undoubtedly, our responsibilities changed and they skyrocketed. But we still haven't identified as one particular responsibility as truly ours. We have, in a way, grown so distant from that childlike ability to connect with everything as our equal, as one of us. And the biggest of all disconnects is, sadly, Mother Nature. So in December 2018, just a few months ago, I visited Agra and New Delhi for a reconnection trip with my home country, India. While this trip was filled with nostalgia and undeniable hospitality, generosity, and possibly the best culinary experience, the one thing that was quite hard to ignore was the air I was breathing. On one little trip to Chandni Chowk in New Delhi, my cycle rickshaw driver told me that his lungs were so badly impacted from the polluted winter air that it had cut down his productivity to earn by half. And it was not only affecting his well-being and his health, but also his family's ability to eat 3 square meals a day. The dangers of global warming in India are grave. Floods, as we've seen, record-breaking heat waves killing thousands in each of the last 2 summers, and we are getting ready for the next summer. Drought has damaged crops, causing starvation and a rash of farmer suicides. As global temperatures continue to rise, hot weather countries like India feel the limits of habitability being stretched. But another integral part of our planet is also being affected by climate change. In India and Bangladesh, many of our rare and unique wildlife and plant species have come under the threat of extinction. Now, we may not immediately relate to this as being important and may not understand the need for protection and preservation, but if we did fully understand the impact of these fast-moving changes, we would want to do something about it right now. From the shrinking habitat of the Bengal tiger to increased water scarcity, driving human-wildlife conflict, these changes will become more pronounced in the years to come. So I've been learning a lot about this human-wildlife biodiversity connection in my role as Ambassador for Wild Edens. And as I keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into my research, the one thing that keeps coming up time and again as one of the biggest solutions is clean and green energy, lowering carbon emissions and reducing carbon footprint. So luckily, Rosatom understands this, and they are fighting the good fight to reverse the damaging effects of global warming. And therefore, I sincerely want to thank them, and I want to thank National Geographic for this wonderful gift that is Wild Edens. Through this well-made documentary, the world and my fellow Indians will be able to connect with my country's exotic mix of wild nature, rare animal life, unique wildlife sanctuaries, and magnificent landscapes that are mesmerizing, but are also under the threat of extinction. the many wonderful creatures that you will be introduced into this film, and I had such a joyful time actually recording the voiceover for this, because I kind of felt like, you know, I get to tell these stories and now you get to hear the stories. But I promise you, you're going to fall in love with them. You're going to be rooting for them. You're going to be won over by their beauty, their resilience, their survival instincts, and also their vulnerability. So going back to the Jungle Book, I recently had an opportunity to honor my childhood memory of being such a die-hard lover of that tale by playing a part in the recent film Mowgli. As I was doing the press rounds, and as I had come into my own awareness of the ills of climate change, a thought crossed my mind. What if there came a day that I had to tell my grandchildren that the only way they will ever know who Shere Khan truly is through an image in the storybooks or the brilliantly engineered motion capture version in my film? Well, that would be a terrible day. So I truly hope that day never comes, because we would have horribly failed the future generations. I believe that the human spirit has the ability to wake up and take action to reverse these ills. Rosatom, Nat Geo, and Wild Edens have all joined the fight and are making these solutions and the awareness attainable and desirable. So let's not give in to despondency or ignorance anymore. Let's do Mother Earth a real solid for all the amazing things that she's been generously giving us for years. Let's join the fight and let's win. Thank you so much. Enjoy the film.
Okay, guys, smile. Smile.
Can you come there behind? Inside, yeah. Can you guys come here? But squish it.
Go, 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 run.
Yeah,
and put your glass.
One second, man.
Go, go, go.
Can you come my side?
Ronnie, you're his favorite.
Check him out.
Can you come my side,
He's just like
please?
playing with us.
Let's go.
Thank you. Please stop.
Is this